Hello, and how are we doing? Welcome back to another episode of Steele Talkin Sports. I am your host, Jay Steele, and let's get talking. Welcome back. Again, my name is Jay. It is Monday, May 13th, and this is episode 9 of Steele Talkin Sports. It is a beautiful day to be talking sports, so let's get into it. Give me 1 second. I am posting to Twitter that we are going live. Is getting tweeted out right now. Boom. So how are we doing? Hope everyone is having a wonderful Monday. It is cloudy. There is not a sunshine ray visible in the sky in North Carolina. So let's talk some sports inside before some games get started. Hope everybody had a wonderful weekend. Some games were good, some games were bad. Let's recap what we talked about last Monday. Although I did realize when checking on the analytics for my video that I titled the video wrong and dated it wrong. So last week was not Monday, May the 8th. It was Monday, May 6th. That is my bad. I will learn to be better and know my dates. Yeah, I don't know. Just didn't read the calendar properly. That deserves a...
What an idiot! Oh, what a loser!
What a loser. That is right. So last week, when I recorded last week's episode, we had one game that had already been played. The Nuggets and Timberwolves had played game one, and the T-Wolves had gotten that upset. So last week on Monday, the games that I handicapped was game 2 of the Nuggets and T-Wolves and game 1 for the other 3 matchups in the NBA. I realized over the past couple of weeks that I haven't been doing any recapping of my picks from last week. So I'm going to be better about that and try to be more, keep myself responsible and keep track of the picks. So I will get better at that, and we will start keeping a tally this week of what we did. Before I get into anything else, I do want to give some shout outs. Shout out to a few family members, my mom, my cousin Troy, I think my sister, and maybe my aunt and uncle have all given me a follow on the YouTube channel. So thank you to all of you providing me some support here. Also, give a shout out to my guy Corey at Sports Fanatic in Greensboro at the Four Seasons Mall. Hooked me up with this sweet Cowboys hat, a couple of T-shirts, and a follow to the channel here. So shout out to you, Corey. Thank you, brother. Really appreciate the conversation and the T-shirts and the hat you hooked me up with. Thanks so much, and everybody go see Corey. He'll get you hooked up with some fresh gear over at Sports Fanatic. They've got everything that you need for any team that you're a fan of. So go on over there to the Four Seasons Mall in Greensboro. Also, wanted to give a shout out to the podcast network and guys who do the show at SGPN. I'm wearing their T-shirt right here. Good teams win, great teams cover. You can get this shirt over at their merch store. They are definitely the inspiration for this podcast. Started listening to their shows a few months ago. And they helped me see sports in a different way. And also, I can just see that these guys are a community of gamblers, but also like sports know-it-all. Like they know a lot about stats, about players, about history. They really see the game in a different way, not just like a fan who watches the game, but a gambler who understands players' injuries. They understand contracts. Like these guys are next level. So I just wanted to give a shout out to them. They are the inspiration for my podcast. I'm not trying to copy them in any way, but they are certainly an inspiration for me to try to hone my craft and get better at this as well. So the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is what their network is called. You can find their website at sportsgamblingpodcast.com or sgpn.com. The shows that I listen to the most, definitely the NFL Gambling Podcast, the UFL Gambling Podcast, NBA, and then the College Experience. I also have their coffee mug right here, the College Experience. They do great work with college basketball, college football all year round. So I wanted to give a major shout out to those guys because they are certainly the inspiration for me trying to do this on my own. And hopefully one day, if I, attain enough success that I'd be lucky enough to meet those guys in person, that would be a super thrill. So yeah, thanks to all of you folks, and shout out to all of you that I mentioned. Yeah, I wouldn't be doing this without any of you. So let's get into the recap from last week. Boom. So last week for game 2 for the Nuggets and the Timberwolves, the spread was 4.5 in favor of the Denver Nuggets, and that game did not go our way. Let's see. The Timberwolves won game 1, 106-99, and then the Nuggets got blown out in game 2 at home, 106-80. So we were completely on the wrong side of that one. It was never a contest, really. Let's see. This game would have been on Tuesday. Yeah. In the box score, Minnesota was up 28-20 after the first quarter, and then in the second quarter, they outscored Denver 33-15. Yeah, you can't get beat by 18 points in a quarter, especially when you were down eight points the previous quarter. So to be down 26 points at halftime, pretty devastating for the defending champions on their home court. Like I said, this game wasn't really a contest. I was definitely wrong in this pick. Even though, like, when you look at the box score for the Timberwolves, it doesn't really look that great. Like, Towns had 27 and Edwards had 27. But other than that, two guys had 14 points apiece, and no other player had double digits. So not really a great scoring night for the team, even though the team did shoot 50% from the field and 39% from three. On the other hand, for Denver, they shot 34.9% from the field and 30% from three. Pretty lackluster performance. Aaron Gordon was the highest scorer on the team with 20 points. Jokic only had 16 points, and Jrue Holiday had 13. So really bad way to start that series. I did not think Denver was going to go down 2-0 at home, but they did. But lucky for us, they have made it a series by coming back and beating the Timberwolves back-to-back games in Minnesota. In Game 3, the Nuggets really put it on them, 117-90. And in Game 4, the ending score was 115-107, but that was a 20-point game for a lot of the time. Minnesota would get it back to 15 or 12, and then a couple of times they cut it to 9, and then in a blink of an eye, Denver had it back up to 17 points. So I really don't know what to make of this series going forward. It's tied 2-2 now. We have a best of 3 with Game 5 being in Denver, 6 in Minnesota, and if we get to Game 7, it will be back in Denver. This is crazy, but we'll get to it. However, as far as the picks that I gave out on this game, I had picked the Nuggets minus 4.5. That was a loss, obviously, and I believe I picked the under, which no, I definitely said over. Let me just get to Odd Shark so I can see the matchups. I don't have it in front of me. I'm slacking. game 1 was an under. So, yes, I would have lost on both of those picks. That would have been an 0-2. Where is my sticky note sheet? Sticky notes, sticky notes, sticky note. Stickies! There they are. So for the Denver game, we're 0-2. Oh, I wrote it down here on the notes. Game 1 for the Knicks and Pacers last Monday. That was Knicks minus 5.5. And I picked the over as well. The over hit, but the Knicks only won by 4, 121-117. I believe this was game 1, so this was like the Jalen Brunson explosion to start the series. 43 points, 14 of 26 from the field, 14 of 14 free throws made. This guy's electric. I've been telling you for weeks. He had 6 rebounds and 6 assists and only went 1 for 4 from three-point range. But he got backed up by his boys from Villanova. Josh Hart had 24 points, and Dante DiVincenzo had 25 points while contributing 5 for 9 from three-point land. This was a great game. This one was the fun one to watch. Also, game 2. So hold on. Before I get to game 2, like I said, Knicks was minus 5.5, and I picked the over. So I got the 5.5 wrong, but the Knicks did win the game. So if you were on the money line, you won that. In the over, if you played that by itself, that would have been a cash as well. That total in that game was 216.5. So yeah, that hit with the total being at 130 or 238. So you would have won that. So for the first game, we were 0-2 on the spread and the total. The second game, we were 1-1, lost on the spread and 1 on the total. Games 3 and 4 have already happened as well. The Pacers grabbed both games in Indianapolis, so this series is now tied as well at 2-2. They won Game 3, 111-106, and Game 4, 121-89. Now that can definitely be contributed to the injuries that the Knicks have unfortunately had again. Julius Randle was already out for the season. Now they've lost Mitchell Robinson, their backup center, or I guess third center behind Hartenstein. And then OG Anunoby in Game 2, he was having a super game and went down with a hamstring, I believe, and he did not play in Games 3 or 4, and so the Knicks have been limited down another player. So it's not looking good for the Knicks, but what I do have to say is they have 2 games at home in a 3-game series against the Pacers, basically. So even though they have to travel to Indianapolis and then back for Game 6 and potentially Game 7, I do think that the Knicks can find a way to get it done, even if they have to slow the game down to a halt. Next, last week we had Game 1 of the Thunder and Mavericks. That game did not go the way that we wanted to because I was on the Mavericks plus 3.5, and I think I picked the under. The Mavericks got walloped, 117-95. This was one of those games that you saw that Luka was still hampered by some kind of injury that happened in the Clippers series because he did not look very good. He was really poor from the 3-point land in game 1. He took a ton of step back threes. Yeah, he took 8 threes. He only made 1. 6 of 10 from the foul line, and only had 19 points, 6 boards, and 9 assists. He was a minus 21 on the plus minus on the court, so he was the worst Dallas Maverick on the court in game 1. That was not good. Like I said, the final score was 117-95. So that under of 218.5 lost as well. So we went 0-2 in the Thunder and Mavericks game 1. But I will say I was very pleased to see the Mavericks respond the way they did in game 2. They looked a lot better in game 2 on the road. They won 119-110. This game was, this was the beginning of the PJ Washington onslaught we've seen from the last 2 games. PJ, former Charlotte Hornet, got traded midseason. He went absolutely nuclear in game 2. Shot 7 for 11 from 3, had 11 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, 1 block, 2 turnovers. He did foul out with 6 fouls, but he put up 29 points before he did in 40 minutes. Shout out to PJ. Great job, bro. Wonderful game. I love seeing PJ as a former Hornet. I think he's got such a smooth shooting stroke. And he's like a quiet-mannered guy that doesn't get enough recognition for like the scrappy plays on defense. Great job, PJ, because you carried the team. You and Luka both had 29 points, but this was the PJ game. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander did put up 33 points, 12 boards, and 8 assists. But not enough to get it done with Luka and PJ contributing 29 apiece. And then in game 3, back at home, the Mavericks were able to scrape out a 4-point win, 105-101. This was another PJ Washington game. He continued his success. He had 27 points in this game. So a combined 56 points over the last 2 games. In game 2, he went 5 for 12 from 3, 6 boards, 2 assists, no steals or blocks, turnovers, but he did have 4 fouls. Kyrie and Luka both contributed 22, with Luka in game 3 getting a game high 15 rebounds for either team. Way to go, Luka. So it looked like maybe he got some treatment in the 2-day break coming back to Dallas, because he did look a lot faster, more explosive in game 3. Obviously, still didn't shoot the ball that great, 7 for 17 from the field and 1 of 4 from 3, but 15 boards. That, to me, is he was much more active. He was able to explode a bit more up for rebounds instead of just being lazy and like catching them at the 3-point line when they get tipped out. He was hunting rebounds in game 3, so that was a good sign to see. I'm really excited to watch that game 4 tonight, so we'll get to that in a few minutes. Next, we had game 1 for the Cavaliers and the Celtics. That went how I told you it was going to go. Boston minus 13.5. They won by 25, 120-95. This was not even a question. I did not play this. I thought about it really hard because I've watched a lot of Derek White over the last couple of weeks leading into the playoffs. But Derek White was 7 for 12 from 3, 25 points. I stared at his points and 3-pointers props on DraftKings for 20 minutes. And his points that night was over under 13.5 or 14.5, right in that range. So he would have been well over. If you took him alt points 20 or over, that was a plus 300, so 3-1. And then his 3-pointers made over under was 2.5. So his alt 3-pointers numbers made, I think 4 was plus 150, 5 was plus 300, and for him to make 6 or more threes was plus 500. And I started a parlay with him 5 plus threes at whatever I just said, plus 300, and 20 plus points at plus 300. And I comboed those two together, and however DraftKings makes those numbers, I don't know if they add or they multiply or they, do the square root of some weird number that doesn't exist, but 2 plus 300s ended up being, or a plus 3 and a plus 500 ended up being like 18 to 1. So if you put up $10, you would win 180. And I put the $10 in the keypad, and I was about to press done, and then I was like, no, there's no way he makes 5 threes. And I took it back, and I canceled, and I'm so mad at myself because he had a nuclear game, and I was right there on the money for or on the button for like pushing send and locking that bet in as a player prop. But either way, I did bet Boston minus 13.5 and the over, and I won that. So we went 2-0 in that game. So that gives us a total for the basketball week of 3-5. The 3 wins are all the or no. Yeah, just 3 wins. I guess I've got two against the spread and 1 total that I got right. Not very good, but we will be better. I'll get back to doing more research and figure out what I did wrong, and we'll attack these basketball games for tonight. So let's get into that really quick. We've got 2 games tonight. Let me share the screen real quick. So I'll show the bracket as it stands. Here we go. So what's today? Today is Monday, May 13th. So yes, tonight, the 13th at 7 p.m., we have the Celtics and Cavaliers. Boston leads the series 2-1. And they are favored minus 8.5 tonight, with the total being at 206.5. Boston on the money line is minus 360, and going the opposite way for Cleveland is plus 285. So again, if you wanted to bet Boston just money line to win the game, you have to put up $360 to win back 100. On the other side, for Cleveland, at plus 285, that is betting 100 to win 285 back. A lot better odds, but I don't know if Cleveland can win a second game. So let's talk about it. The minus 8.5. That is a good number for Boston. If you look at the 2 games so far in this series, they have won by 25 points and by 13 points. I believe even the other night in Game 3, that was a 7.5 or 8.5 point spread, so they covered that. The one anomaly is the Game 2 that Donovan Mitchell went nuclear, and he made like 7 threes, I think, to catapult that team. And Game 2 was just this game that Boston just didn't show up. So do you think that's going to happen again? I don't. I think Boston's going to lock down on defense and get it together. But Cleveland has been feisty at home. All of the games up in the Magic series, all the games that they won were the home games. They lost every game on the road. So now they've changed the narrative. They have won a game on the road in Boston. But Boston looked very good in Game 3 in Cleveland. I really liked the Jason Tatum interview that he gave after the game. He seemed very confident, but also that there was a lot left on the table that they could go and get after. So I think I'm going to be on Boston this game, but I want to just look at something really quickly. Wow. So including playoff wins, Boston is now 70-20 on the year, while Cleveland is 53-39. Head to head over the last 10, these teams are 5-5 against each other. Against the spread, Boston is 4-6, with Cleveland being opposite 6-4. Boston is 5-1 against the spread in their last 6 games, while Cleveland is 2-6 against the spread in their last 6 games, or last 8 games. Injury report: Jarrett Allen is still questionable for Monday. Dude, if he is on the court, this Cleveland team is so much better. But he hasn't played since the Magic series. It's weird. Nobody knows what's going on. If he was on the court, the team would be a lot better. But for that reason, give me Boston minus the 8.5. The total, what did I say? 206, 207.5. Yeah, over 206.5. It's going to be close, but yeah, I think Boston gets it done because they want to go back to Boston and end this series in 5. They know what it takes to get it done. They have unfinished business with the playoffs, and if the Knicks are injured, I hate to see them have to go up against Boston. So give me Boston minus the 8.5. Take the over 206.5 as well. I think that's a good play for tonight. Boston goes up on the series 3-1 and looks to close it out in 2 days back in TD Garden. So yeah, Boston minus 8.5 and the over 206.5. Moving on to the second game tonight, which will be Game 4 of the Dallas Mavericks hosting the Oklahoma City Thunder at 9:30 on TNT. Dallas is favored. Opened at minus 2.5 points, now is minus 1.5, so it's shrunk a number. The total being 215.5. Money line for Oklahoma City is even money, so whatever you bet, that's what you win back. The other side, Dallas minus 120 on the money line. So again, you have to bet 120 to win 100. That's how that works. I guess if I don't mention, if you're betting the spread minus 1.5, it's minus 110 odds. So if you bet 110, you win back 100. I don't think I've mentioned that. I've only been talking about the money line, so I need to correct that. Injury report. It says Luka Doncic is game to game. We know he's going to play. Maxi Kleber is obviously out. So we've got Dallas minus 1.5. Honestly, Dallas has won the last 2 games after Oklahoma City had been on a 10-game win streak, including the last few games of the regular season, the 4 against the Pelicans, and then game 1 of this series. Now they're on a 2-game slide. And you're telling me that Luka and Kyrie and PJ Washington have now figured out that they are the big 3. And they are the 3 that are going to carry them to the Western Conference Finals. And if they get this game in Dallas tonight, they could be back in Oklahoma City in 2 days with a 3-1 lead and a chance to close this out, while You let Denver and Minnesota battle it out and kill each other for 7 games. You bet your ass that Dallas is motivated to get this done. And this number is only -1.5. I'm jumping all over that. I'm this whatever you call a unit. If $10 is your normal play, which usually is my play. Sometimes if I'm a little bit more confident in a game, I'll go 20 or $25. This is going to be a 2-unit play for me. I'm going to put $20 on Dallas -1.5. I may parlay it with the over 215.5. I might use the slider on DraftKings and go down to 214 or 213. But I'm definitely going a 2-unit play, Dallas -1.5. I think they get this done, and they go to Oklahoma City up 3-1. So that is my pick. Dallas -1.5 and the over. You will hear me say the over a lot, and that is because I love to watch teams score. I don't care if I get it wrong. I want to see scoring. I don't want to see defense unless I'm doing a player prop parlay and I want somebody to get blocks. But no, I want to see points. I want to see threes. I want to see alley-oop dunks. I want to see scores 140 to 130 every single game. So if you hear me say the over and you think I'm an idiot, that's fine. You can play the under, but I want to see some points. Next up, this will be tomorrow on Tuesday. The first game will be at 8 p.m. on TNT, May the 14th. Pacers and Knicks series tied 2-2. Game 5 is in New York City at Madison Square Garden, where the Knicks are favored -2.5. And the total is 216.5. I really don't know what to think now because there's injuries on both sides. Tyrese Halliburton for the Pacers took a nasty spill on a layup attempt where he landed hard on his back and his ankle, and he kind of wobbled over to the sideline or to the coach's table or scorer's table in Game 4. Basically, the entire team for the Knicks is on the injury report. Like I said earlier, Mitchell Robinson is out. Julius Randle is now out. Bogdanovich has been out. OG Anunoby is now out. It says he's game to game, but I doubt it. Isaiah Hartenstein is game to game. I think he plays, but it's probably just listed so he can have like an easy practice yesterday and keep some speculation on the Pacers side. Tyrese is not listed on the injury report for the Pacers, but I know he took a nasty spill. He will be in the game, but I don't know what to think about what happened to Jalen Brunson. I think it was Game 3 that he got injured. He was out the entire second quarter. He only had 5 points at halftime. Or was this Game 2? Okay, this was Game 2. The second game that the Knicks won in the series. So Brunson left the locker room on an injured leg. Spent only 5 minutes on the court in the first half, and then somehow still ended up with scoring 24 in the second half, and they won the game. But that is also the game that OG Anunoby got injured, and then lost 2 games. It's hard. I really want to keep picking the Knicks because I love the Knicks. But whoa, hold on. This opened at Knicks +2.5 as the underdog, and now it's -2.5. Holy crap. How does that happen? A 5-point swing? No way. No way. No way. Okay. This must just be a misprint because I'm seeing I'm looking at the line history, and yeah, it opened at -3, got down to -1, 1.5, and yeah, so it got down to -1, and then bought back up to 1.5, 1.5, 2, 2, 2, 2.5, 2.5. Okay, so ESPN has a misprint. You guys need to fix that. Stop doing that. Okay, so game 5, Tuesday night. I'm gonna be on the Knicks -2.5. I can't stop picking the Knicks. I'm not gonna jump off the bandwagon now. Why would I? So Knicks -2.5, and you know what it is. Take the over. I'm gonna take the over 216.5. Probably.
What a
Gonna hear a lot
idiot! Oh, what a loser!
I'm probably going to be a loser for taking the over, but like I just said, I want to see some points scored. So let's freaking go Knicks and over 216.5. That's what we're doing. Knicks -2.5 and the over. Book it. And then our game 5. 10:30 p.m. on Tuesday the 14th, Minnesota Timberwolves at the Denver Nuggets. This is Denver -4.5 and the over 205.5. That's a really low total for two teams that, well, I guess, yeah, the first two games would have been under that number. Actually, nope. Yep. No. Game 1 would have been under by a half. Game 2 would have been well under that. And then 3 and 4 would have covered the number. So this is probably a right over-under total number. Honestly, I'm going to take the under based on the two scores at home in Denver. We're super low scoring on the Denver side. So I'm going to think this is going to be a slug-it-out battle. I do think Denver gets the win and goes up 3-2. So give me the -4.5 and the under. Surprise, 205.5. That is where we're going. -4.5 and under. Okie dokie. So that is our picks. I will make sure to post those to Twitter so that we can keep myself accountable going forward and not just sloppily trying to remember all the picks that I make. These playoffs are fun. These playoffs are getting good. But we've also got some Stanley Cup to talk about. I'm running a little long on time here, but I'll try to get this done quickly. So on the Stanley Cup side, we have, tonight we have the Hurricanes and Rangers, Game 5 in New York. The Hurricanes have staved off elimination. Last week we picked the Panthers minus the puck line 1.5 in Game 1. That was a loss. But I did pick Florida for the series, and they are up 3-1 now. So they have won 3 in a row after losing Game 1. So we're looking really good there if you took that. Also in Game 1, we took the Oilers minus 1.5. They lost Game 1. So we would have lost that. And Vancouver leads that series 2-1. So we're not looking good. We're not looking good there. The other game that happens tonight, the Stars and Avalanche, we did pick the Avs money line in Game 1, and that cashed as like a plus 140 money line dog. But they have lost 2 in a row and are now down 2-1. So we are not looking good there. And I believe last week for the Canes and Rangers series, I had picked game 2, and I picked the Hurricanes, and they lost that as well. So last week for hockey, we went 1-3. That is not good. We got to get better. Game 5, 7 p.m., Monday, May 13th, Hurricanes and Rangers. Oh, boy, back against the wall. What are you going to do? Again, for the 5th game in a row, the Hurricanes are the favorite, and I don't understand how. These odds makers are like ridiculous with this. I mean, in the 3 games that we lost, we had way more shots on goal, but if you want to talk about physicality, the Hurricanes were out physicaled in every department by the Rangers. So I don't understand how like the odds makers are making this so even or swayed in favor of the Hurricanes. I mean, clearly the Rangers are the better team. I mean, what are we doing here? If you're just trying to fool people so that Rangers fans can get money line wins with positive juice, I mean, just tell us. I mean, then I'll bet that way too. I mean, if that's the gig and that's the system, but come on, man, like this doesn't make any sense. They are clearly the better team on the ice. I'm a Hurricanes fan, but the Rangers have our number, and they are the better team on ice. We may look better on paper. I don't think so, but like they are killing us. I don't know how like you're listing them as the underdog. Like the money line is even -110 both ways. The total is over under 5.5 goals. And for Carolina, -1.5 goals is +210 odds. And the New York Rangers +1.5 goals is -300 odds. Like, how? I don't get it. I mean, I know I'm not like the premier guy on hockey odds, but still, this doesn't make sense to me. Like, this is dumb. This is dumb. It. I don't know. It's hard. Hockey's tough. But I got to have faith in my guys. So give me the Hurricanes. And I got to think that we've got to score a ton of goals to win this game. So give me the over 5.5. Carolina, money line, over 5.5. Game 2 tonight, Stars and Avalanche. This game is at 9:30 on ESPN. Colorado at home, -140 on the money line. Dallas +120 on the road. Over under 6.5. Dallas +1.5 goals, -215. Colorado -1.5 goals, +170. The Avs won game 1 4-3, but then have lost 5-3 and 4-1 to the Stars. I don't know what to say. Like the Stars team is just like gritty in a way that combats the Avalanche's speed. They don't have super speedsters. I mean, they have guys that are quick, no doubt. Rope Hintz, Jason Robertson, Wyatt Johnston, they're all super quick, sharpshooters, snipers. Wyatt Johnston gets in there and mixes it up. He's only 20 years old. He's a stud. But Nathan McKinnon and Cale Makar on the other side have so much speed that you would think that they just outgas these guys and just blow past them. But it doesn't really seem to phase the Stars. They combat it with grittiness and hard hits and poke checks and stick checks and getting it chippy up against the boards. And I don't think the Avalanche like playing that way. And so I think this is going to have to be a grinded out game. Actually, no. At home, Avs need to get this series tied. I think this is an absolute shootout. Um, Look for McKinnon and Makar and Rantanen to try to put as many pucks on net as they can up against Jake Ottinger. I'm looking for 40-plus shots on goal. So if you wanted to take like Jake Ottinger over under his saves number, definitely that'll probably be in the like 28 range. Take the over 28 and a half if you just want to play that. If you want to take Nathan McKinnon to score a goal at plus odds, if you want to take Mikko Rantanen at plus odds to score a goal, Cale Makar over his point total, like anything on the Avs side goal-wise, go. Those guys will score goals. I think they put up 5, at least 6 goals on their own, so definitely play the over. You could combo that together if you want to and get like a nice like 8-1, 10-1. Colorado money line over 6.5 goals and Nathan McKinnon to score a goal, or even just like Nathan McKinnon shots on goal. That would be a good shot as well. So that's the way I like to go with the Avs tonight. So Colorado money line over 6.5. Moving on to Tuesday, we gotta get this wrapped up and get posted to YouTube for the people before the 7:00 game. So I've got to get on the ball for these last two. Next up tomorrow, Boston and Florida, Game 5 in. This is in Florida. Boston plus 185 on the money line. Florida minus 220. Over under 5.5 goals. After losing game 1 5-1, the Panthers have won 3 games in a row, 6-1, 6-2, and 3-2. Obviously, you put up 12 goals in 2 games on the Bruins. You're doing something. This Florida team is nasty. They muck it up. They hit hard. They don't care. They'll scrap it up, and I love their coach, Paul Maurice. He's a dog. He's one of the guys in a way. I don't know what to make of the hit on Marchand in Game 3. He missed Game 4. It looks like he probably got a concussion. Sam Reinhart and Marchand like collide together, and they couldn't see this until the second day when they got like a reverse angle of the shot. But as soon as they collide, Sam Reinhart gets like a sucker punch to the blind side of Marchand's head. I think he gets a concussion. He did finish the period and play a little bit longer, so it doesn't seem like it affected him immediately. But he did miss Game 4, and there's been a ton of talk about it. But if he's out again, it says day-to-day. I would say if he's out, Boston's done. The Panthers bury this. Take the Panthers money line. I know it's steep at minus 220, but pair it with the over 5.5. Actually, no. Take the Panthers spread minus 1.5 goals at plus 125. That's some good juice right there. And just play that. Just play the Panthers minus 1.5. They're gonna stomp Boston, get this over with. Pasternak might get a goal, but I don't see Boston being able to advance this series any longer. Last up, 9:30. Hey, stop it. Sorry about that. Tuesday, May 14th, 9:30 p.m., Canucks and Oilers, Game 4 in Edmonton. Vancouver plus 175 on the money line. Edmonton minus 205. The total is over 6.5 goals. This series is a lot more chippy than I thought it was going to be. The Canucks, hold on a second. Sorry. The Canucks scraped out game 1, 5-4. And then the Oilers got game 2, 4-3 in overtime. And game 3 was taken by the Canucks 4-3. Now, the end of game 3 was it was weird. The Canucks controlled basically the entire game. Brock Besser, he had a hat trick, and then they changed one of the goals to say it was a tip-in by some other guy. So he had 2 goals and an assist on the game, but he had all 3 of those in the first period. So for a few minutes, we thought Brock Besser had a hattie in the first period. Some fans threw their hats on the ice, and then a few minutes later, they took the goal away from him and gave it to Lindholm. So some fans lost their hats on not a hattie. But late in the third period, Edmonton did score, let's see, with about a minute and 16 seconds remaining on the clock. And so then they obviously took the goalie out of the net and had an extra attacker on the ice for like 1 minute. So it was a 6-on-5. And they got 4 or 5 shots right at the net in the last few seconds. And then after the whistle is blown, the horn goes off, the NHL's premier player, Connor McDavid, a.k.a. McJesus, the fastest dude on skates, one of the most skilled puck handlers that we have in the league, I don't have the video in front of me. I wish I did so that you all could see it. Actually, I bet no, they don't have it. Crap.
Not able to get the puck deep.
I wonder.
Bouchard with 12 seconds shoots it in high of the net. Soucy is on the puck, hard around.
Give me 1 moment. Let me watch this and see if it shows it. Yep. Oh, it just cut out. Oh, no. McDavid gets crushed. Oh, man. Okay, that's not going to work. Okay, I'll just describe it in words. So McDavid gets a shot on net right as the buzzer goes, and he's at the back of the net. And one player for Vancouver comes behind him, gives him a cross check right in like the middle of the spine, and he starts to go a scorpion kind of like this. At the very same instance that he gets cross checked in the back, he gets cross checked in the face by another player that's standing in front of him that he was getting chippy with. And so he gets sandwiched with 2 cross checks at the same time, goes down, there's a scrum, the refs get involved. I don't know, man. It's a pretty nasty hit. It's not a good look for the NHL on its number 1 player. So I would expect that there's some fines on the Vancouver side or a suspension for one or maybe both of those players because both of those hits were after the buzzer. I know it's loud and it's chippy and some guys can't hear, but that's no excuse. That was a dirty play. I certainly hope that there are some repercussions because I love the intensity in the game, but, a cross-check to the face as your other defender is cross-checking him in the back, that's dirty, man. So there's no place in the game for that. Now, the first cross-check I'm okay with. He did get roughed up a little extra on that one. And that would have sufficed as, enough chippiness at the end of the game when they didn't tie the game anyway. But the second cross-check to the face, that's the one that's dirty. I'm not sure which player that was, but he definitely needs something. Maybe this is it. I'm looking at the injury report. It looks like 29 minutes ago, Carson Soucy out with a suspension. So that is definitely the guy. Yep, that is the guy. Okay. So, hold on. There's another guy that's out. Did he get one too? Oh, no, this says knee. Okay, never mind. I couldn't remember which two players it was, so I wasn't sure. But yeah, Carson Soucy out, suspension. That's got to be the cross check to the face. So, okay, cool to see. I'm good with that. We can move on and just talk about the game. With that being said, that is a huge loss. A major defenseman lost for the Edmonton Oilers for game 4. So, yeah, for the Canucks. I'm sorry. I probably said that wrong. Carson Soucy, defenseman, Vancouver Canucks, out for game 4. Give me Edmonton. Don't mess with the over-under in this game because I don't know. Actually, all 3 games have been overs with 9 goals, 7 and 7. Expect these teams to score goals over 6.5. It's been a 1-goal game every game, but I think with the loss of a major defenseman, Edmonton can win by 2. So give me the minus 1.5 at plus 125 and the over 6.5 goals. Edmonton over 6.5. All right, people. That is 56 minutes of me talking my face off. I am super tired of talking. I need to go eat something. I need to walk my dogs. And I need to get this posted to YouTube as fast as possible. It will probably take way too long, but I'm sorry. Maybe if you don't catch it right before the games start, you'll catch it in time for tomorrow's games, and we can get started on a new winning streak. Please remember to bet responsibly. I only bet $5 or $10 a game. Like I said, there's one anomaly tonight with the Dallas Mavericks that I think I will be putting 2 units on, which is $20. Use what is within your bankroll. Don't be silly. Limit yourself to a certain amount of money per week. If you lose that money, you just wait till next week and enjoy the games that you have without any skin in the game. If you get up, withdraw that money and put it back in your bank account and just keep operating with the same $50 or $100, whatever your bankroll is. But be responsible. Don't hurt yourself. And if you do have a gambling problem, please reach out to someone. I do want to say that because if I'm advising people to gamble, I think I should mention that they should be smart, not stupid. So we'll add that in as a new exit outro disclaimer that I should mention every single week when I do an episode. I think that wraps it up. Again, shout out to everyone that I gave mentions to earlier. I hope that you see that in the early part of the episode. Thank you very much. Monday, May 13th, we are wrapping up episode 9. Again, my name is Jay Steele. This is Steele Talkin Sports. Thank you for listening along for this 58 minutes. I really appreciate you. We will get back next week on the 20th. Or actually, I'm going to record an episode Tuesday night tomorrow for the PGA Championship this week. So I will be back tomorrow. This will be up and ready for you on Wednesday before the PGA Championship starts on Thursday at Valhalla Country Club in Louisville, Kentucky. Thank you very much, and I will see you next week.
And here we go.
To be fair.
To be fair.
To be fair. To be fair.
To be fair.
To be fair.